Today on this episode, guys, we're going to get into it. AEW, too much brutality. Raw, 2 hours. Finally, Nash slamming Paul. And finally, MVP goes after Triple H and Bruce Pritchard. All this and so much more on this episode of Samp&Chance. So strap in and thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Wrestling. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance, Michael's Chance. We've had some issues this week, but here we are finally. How are you, my friend?
Doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. It's been a pretty good week. We just, like I said, some technical issues, some just timing issues, but hey, here we are. Let's get right into it, brother, man.
Exactly.
So we got some interesting things here that we want to kind of touch on. Where should we go first?
Whatever you feel like. 4 good topics. Dive into anyone you like.
With AEW, because that's the one that's kind of making some noise right now as well. So let's get into it. AEW, too much brutality. Your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, but I see what they're trying to do here. This is one of the most talked about cage matches since Taker and Mankind. I don't think any cage match had this much hype since, good or bad. If you read the comments, some people are saying it was awesome. This is amazing. I couldn't get enough. And the other half are saying it's too much brutality. It's took it too far. You got syringes, knives, put a bag over their face.
Yeah,
I thought it was a little too. I didn't like the syringe stuff. I thought that was a little much.
Well, hey.
The match itself was brutal. They wanted to make the most brutal match ever, and besides Mankind and Taker, it probably was.
Yeah, no, I mean, in terms of the brutality, I get it. It's in wrestling. I mean, it's huge in Japan, the death matches and what have you. But ultimately, man, I thought it just went a little too far for my liking. Only so much for the fact that they always preface to don't try this at home. Don't do this at home. When you're seeing a guy getting strangled with a plastic bag, I mean, this is felony. Like in any other existence, this would be considered a felony, correct? I mean, so just to do that, you're just simplifying it. And now my only fear is kids going out there and trying to emulate this. And, like, I hope it doesn't happen. But the syringe thing made no sense. I mean, I just don't get that. Just
the syringe stuff was just poor taste. That's something you see an addict on the street.
Yeah.
So, that's what you associate it with.
So a lot of these kids, and I'm referring to kids, not people our age, not people that are a bit older that have common sense. Little kids have common sense, but it's limited, right? They can only go so far. So if they see this kind of stuff, I mean, tell me you didn't play wrestling at school when you were a kid.
Yeah, exactly. No, I hear what you're saying.
Right?
I don't think a kid's would do that, but you never know. There's always that one crazy kid.
But we're living in a different day and age now where kids are just not as thoughtful as you would think they'd be. Eating Tide Pods, eating stupid things like that. So come on, man. I mean, as far as I see it, I just thought it was just a bad move on their part. I get it, the brutality, but hey, I mean, ultimately,
definitely was Hangman and Swerve's idea. I don't think Tony Khan quite thinks along those lines. He should have told them, no, that's not coming in there, shutting it down like Vince McMahon did, not happening. Yeah. But I think Tony Khan went with it because what did he want to do? He wanted to create a buzz.
Yeah,
we're all talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. All the shows, all the blogs, all the writers. Sure. I mean, some are saying good, some are saying bad. We're saying bad because the syringe in the bag I thought was a little too far.
Yeah.
But it was a good match overall. Besides that, they went hard on each other.
No, they did. Brutal. I mean, they did really good that way. But like I said, there was just some elements that didn't need to be there per se, right?
This cage match here will be the second most talked about cage match ever, behind Hell in the Cell, whatever you want to call it. Cage match behind Foley and Taker.
Well, the last time we had a bag incident was Ric Flair and Terry Funk in the 70s. It shows you. How far that kind of stuff happens. All right, let's move on here. Monday Night Raw is going back to 2 hours. Finally, either they're listening to us or enough people have complained about this, but I'm happy about the 2 hour Raw. I'm excited for it. It's going to be compact. You're going to get all the details you need. That 1 hour is just basically filler, really. At the end of the day, I mean, some guys may lose their spot, but hey, this is where the cream has to come up now.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Somebody back there realized the show is not any good. Because if this show was 3 hours of amazingness, on the edge of your seat action, they wouldn't have cut it to 2. It's not. They know that. We all know that. Anybody with common sense knows Raw is no good. So they cut it down. Now it will be good again. You got to trim some of the fat. If we can cut kids at 8 and 9 year old rep hockey, we can cut men and women who are making millions of dollars and cut them off the roster. I don't feel bad for them at all. It sucks, but that's just the way it goes. Raw will be better.
Yeah.
They've improved their commentating team by getting Joe Tessitore in there.
Yeah.
They're cutting the show down, so they realize it was kind of a stinky product, and they're going to beef it up. And I'm happy about it.
No, I'm happy too, man. It's going to be a tighter show. You're going to get
Oh
like
yeah,
the content that you're looking for. Like I said, that third hour, in essence, if they spread it out, they basically the amount of recaps that they do, this and that. I mean, a lot of that's going to go now, right? You're still going to get your recaps, but where they're needed, not as filler. So I'm
and
excited for it.
less men and women you see on Raw now that are on there. You'll
Yeah,
see less of certain people, whoever they
well,
decide. So
yeah,
it's good
yeah.
all around.
No, 100%. All right. Kevin Nash, man, he's making news here. He went out of his way to make some comments about one Logan Paul, saying that he has not earned his right to be where he is. He's not paid his dues. He's not one of the boys. I can understand where Kevin's coming from. I get it. I mean, Logan's done really, really well for himself, but as we've talked about before, it's the evolution of the program, the evolution of the show, the evolution of how they do business. It's not the way you did business back in the day. We talked about this off on air. Your thoughts?
Um, well, I guess Kevin Nash is right. He didn't pay his dues, but that doesn't matter anymore, dude. He's a top
Exactly.
five. He's a top five wrestler on the whole show. He's that athletic. He's that gifted. Um, he's a better businessman than Kevin Nash. He got the prime drink. He's got a bigger and better, more popular podcast than Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
I personally think Kevin Nash said this to get relevancy, to
Mm.
get his name out there. I mean, I know Logan Paul's 30 years younger than Nash, so by Nash mentioning Logan Paul, it gets his name on the headlines. He starts talking. I love Logan Paul's response. I don't know if you've seen that on X. He put
Yeah.
the video. Who's Kevin Nash? And I believe he doesn't know who he is. It's not like he's actually a student of the game. Brock Lesnar wasn't a student of the game. Kurt Angle wasn't a student of the game. They're some of the best ever. So
Yeah. No, no,
yes,
and
I
I
guess
get that.
technically Nash is right, but Logan Paul is so good. He didn't need to pay his. He didn't need to come through the ranks. That's where Johnny Gargano and Sami Zayn guys need. They're not natural athletes. Logan Paul is a natural athlete. So
Yeah.
I
No,
kind of
I
like
get
this. I like this feud. At the end of the day, I think he's taking a cheap shot over at Ari and Triple H. Like, what are you guys allowing this for? But he makes a lot of money and people love him. So that's why he's
yeah.
there.
Well, I think what Kevin needs to understand also is just the way things are done now. Like, I mean, as I said to you, if you think about it, independent wrestling scene, I mean, that's where everyone came from. You know what I mean? They paid their dues. They, like we see the guys here locally, they tear down the ring, this and that. That's paying your dues. But the way WWE operates now, everyone, these combines and all these tryouts that they do, they're going to universities, they're going for athletes now. They're not going for indie wrestlers. There's less and less independent wrestlers making it onto the scene to
Well,
NXT.
look at Ken Shamrock. He didn't pay his dues. He was great. There's
No, no,
always certain
100%.
guys that kind of
Well,
get in
that's
there for
it.
the
But
celebrity, right?
now you're seeing it more and more. Like you're seeing more and more of these athletes, like Bianca Belair. She's amazing at what she does, but she's a
Very
track
good.
star. She wasn't a wrestling fan, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you look at some of these other guys, Gable Stevenson. Yeah, they're saying they're wrestling fans, but they're not the kind of wrestling fans that these independent guys are that would normally get up onto the roster. So I completely see it. I think Kevin Nash needs to kind of change his thinking a little bit, but he's not wrong, and I get it. So yeah,
I just love how Logan Paul didn't lie down for this guy. He's an old dog
yeah,
barking, you know what I mean? And Logan
no,
Paul's like, "Who are you? F you? I'm better than you at this. I'm
yeah.
better." You know what I mean? I just love the bravado. He's the true heel. He's a really jerky guy, and he plays
Well, I
it
tell you
well.
what, man. I think
And
we
Kevin
potentially
Nash knows Logan Paul's amazing. He knows it. He's not
no, no,
stupid.
no.
He knows.
We potentially could be seeing something here, right? They could be planting seeds for something. Who knows,
Or
right?
or even if they're not, this is organic. They could turn this into a segment, a feud. Man, it'll be great.
Yeah.
Old
All
versus
right.
new. Right?
Final topic of this show, my friend. MVP versus MVP. He went out of his way to kind of make comments about Triple H and Bruce Pritchard, talking about how he feels that they don't have a pulse on the business and this and that. Now, I know what he's trying to say, but I think it's a lot of bitterness in there too.
I 100%, 110% agree with MVP. I've been saying this before he's been saying this. I was saying this before Bobby Lashley was saying this. People have to understand something. Vince is the brains. Vince was the genius. Triple H got his spot because he married Steph. That's just the bottom line. That's the truth. Some guys, he's a little bit better. Of course he is. But they let Bobby go. He's got Omos, the biggest wrestler in the world. He's pretty athletic. They don't even use him. They don't use the guy. They say they want to make him an attraction, but we don't see him in any pay-per-views. You got a biggest wrestler in the world. You got an attraction. Use him. Use him once in a while. Bring him out. Let him kick some butt. Let him be a bodyguard. How Diesel was for Shawn Michaels. Let him do something. You got to use somebody like that. And so I see what MVP's saying. They dropped the ball with Lashley. Totally dropped the ball with Omos. But the one thing MVP doesn't understand is the way these guys think. How do they think? They want Gargano, Pete Dunne, Dragunov kind of guys because they think that's what indie audience wants, and that's what they do want. They don't want Omos. They don't want guys like Lashley. So I totally agree with MVP, and I'm glad he said it. I'm glad Lashley said it because I've been saying it for a while. So it's refreshing to hear that.
No, no, I mean he's not wrong, but I think at the same time you got to keep in mind, like I was saying to you as well, like we keep going back and forth on this. I mean, business is bigger than it's ever been. Everything's sold out. Like Survivor Series sold out this morning. Like so. I mean,
Oh, of
people are
course,
watching it.
those are
They still
always
they
going to sell out.
no, but they have their fan base. I mean, they have people who are watching it. So it's
Oh,
not,
of
you can't
course,
say
yeah.
that
They're a global brand.
right. So I
They're
mean,
not growing their audience though. The ratings
but
aren't
see,
going.
this is where I don't understand why he's saying they're not growing their audience. Their audience have been bigger than they've ever been in the longest time. Man. Like,
Not on watching it on North America TV. They're
well,
not. They're the
not
same.
on TV, but they're selling everything out. Like, I mean,
But
TV.
Survivor Series sells out. It's been selling out for 30 years, wherever
No,
it was.
no,
Only
but
18,000
house
fans. It's not
shows are
that big.
selling. House show sells out. Raw sells out. SmackDown sellouts, right? Like, I mean,
No, not all the time.
selling
I
out.
was just at SmackDown last year. Wasn't sold out.
Not every show, bro, but they're selling out
Yeah,
more shows than they are.
nobody's saying they don't sell
Their
tickets. Of
numbers,
course
their
they do.
numbers, their financials are better than they even were during the Attitude Era, taking into cost and inflation and everything. They're making money head over fist.
Nobody's saying they're not making money, but what people are saying they're not growing their audience. Look at the ratings. They're not increasing their fan base. They're just maintaining it. Survivor Series always sold out. If WWE was that hot, they'd be in BC Place. They couldn't sell out BC Place, so they went to Rogers Arena for 18,000, which is still great. It's sold out. Nobody's knocking that they're not the number one wrestling company. Of course they are. But what people are saying is they're not bringing it super up on the ratings wise. They'll always have their hardcore fan base. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
who's running the show backstage. WWE is like NFL. You can change the wrestlers, you can change the players in NFL, but the brand sells itself. Absolutely.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, it's hard to kind of figure this one out because I see them growing their audience. I see them,
I don't. Why just look at the ratings? It tells you that. Look at their
merch ratings.
not
Yeah,
growing.
but we're just basing it on one rating on television. Look
That's
at the merch.
biggest show.
Merch sales are up. Everything is up.
But that's the same fans as buying more shirts. It doesn't mean it's new fans buying shirts. That's the thing, right? You always get a CM Punk, a Cody Rhodes, a John Cena. They'll sell a ton of shirts. That doesn't mean it's new fans. That just means these fans are buying more. I'm not saying they're losing fans, they're not gaining fans. I tell you that because Raw ratings would go up if they were.
Well,
right?
I mean, it all depends on
what WrestleMania, Survivor World. They're going to sell it no matter where they go.
Yeah.
You could point on the map anywhere, and they're going to sell it. That's only 18,000.
Well, let's see what they do now. They got the 2-hour Raw coming up. Let's see how they improve the program, and maybe that will do it, right? Maybe that
until they start using different caliber of wrestlers. I don't think so. No, they'll maintain. They'll always have their hardcore base. Of course they will. It's WWE. It's NFL. It's the brand sells itself.
All right, brother, man. Tell you what, brother, I think we've done it. We've got everything we wanted to say on this episode. I think we got some good content here. How do you feel about it all?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Awesome, brother, man. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this puppy up. We got to hit the road here. Survivor Series tickets went on sale today, pre-sale anyways. If you're going to get them fast. They're moving fast. Expensive.
People don't realize with Ari Emanuel in charge, no more Vince.
Well, dude, he's just said he just released an article just before we end here. I just read an article before you came on. They're cutting down house shows from 300 to 250 now, and then hopefully by next year they want to do it down to 200. They don't see the value in the house shows because the amount of production and the amount of people that they have to put out there to put these shows on.
But people, I agree with that, but people don't realize why did Vinny do so many house shows? People don't know why.
To promote the program.
Exactly. So now what they do is they cut the shows by 100 and they bring their ticket prices up.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a domino effect, but that's what happens when you sell the company, man. So
no, I'm just saying Ari needs to understand. He needs to find a happy medium, right? Because I mean, the ticket prices for Survivor Series for watching some of these guys is outrageous.
Well, no, think about it. You cut an hour of Raw, so how much money are they going to save there? You cut all these house shows, you're going to save a lot of money there, right?
Or they lose money because they get less advertisers with that extra hour. That's why they went to the extra hour to get more advertising, more commercials.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, going to Netflix, there aren't going to be any commercials, so I don't know where they're going to.
No, they still have ads though.
Well, no, there's no commercials in Netflix.
No, but they have ads. Like click on this, the 30-second ads and stuff. They're gonna have ads. Always have ads.
I don't know how they're gonna do ads on Netflix, man. They probably promote their own stuff, like their WWE shop and this and that. But I don't see how they do.
No, they're gonna have they'll have all kinds of stuff during the show. You'll see like you can buy this, buy that.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, like in promotional spots and like product placements, probably a lot more of that, right? All right, brother, man, let's wrap it up here. Let's call it a day. My name is Bobby Sampson. He is Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you guys. It is the weekend, I guess, by the time we're recording this. So get out there, be safe, just do what you want to do, but be happy. Come home to your families. That's the most important thing. And remember, everybody, work hard, work hard, work hard. Anyone who pisses on you, anyone who tells you you're not achieving it, or you're stupid, or your goals are stupid, they're the people you need to eliminate. Samp and Chance are out. Good.
Good one. Yep.
All right.
Rock and roll some boxing. That was quick. Yeah, that was a quick one.
Yeah. All right.